In a bold move that could reshape the future of the Middle East, U.S. Vice President JD Vance has landed in Israel amidst a fragile ceasefire in Gaza, marking a critical moment in the Trump administration's efforts to solidify peace in the region. But here's where it gets controversial. While the U.S. pushes for long-term negotiations, tensions remain high, and the path to lasting peace is anything but certain. Vance's mission is clear: to urge Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to engage in talks aimed at a permanent end to the conflict with Hamas. Yet, this comes just days after a violent flare-up threatened to derail the 12-day-old truce, raising questions about the sustainability of the agreement. Is this ceasefire built on shaky ground, or can it truly pave the way for peace? The stakes are immense. Special U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, who played key roles in brokering the initial deal, also met with Netanyahu on Monday, underscoring the urgency of the situation. Their efforts are part of President Donald Trump's ambitious 20-point Gaza peace plan, which includes establishing an interim Palestinian government, deploying an international stabilization force, withdrawing Israeli troops, and disarming Hamas. But this is the part most people miss. The plan's success hinges on the fragile first phase of the ceasefire holding, something far from guaranteed. U.S. officials, as reported by the New York Times, fear Netanyahu might abandon the deal and resume full-scale military operations against Hamas. Could this be a make-or-break moment for peace in the region? Netanyahu, meanwhile, struck a dual tone in his address to the Israeli parliament, emphasizing both Israel's strength and its willingness to pursue peace. "One of our hands holds a weapon, the other hand is stretched out for peace," he declared. "You make peace with the strong, not the weak." Today Israel is stronger than ever before. Yet, his words came just hours after Israeli forces dropped 153 tons of bombs on Gaza in retaliation for what he called Hamas's blatant ceasefire violation. This raises a critical question: can peace truly be achieved when both sides remain ready to escalate at the slightest provocation? The human cost of this conflict is staggering. Since the October 7, 2023, attack by Hamas-led gunmen that killed approximately 1,200 Israelis and took 251 hostages, Israeli strikes in Gaza have resulted in at least 68,216 Palestinian deaths, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. While 20 Israeli hostages were released last week in exchange for nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners, the return of deceased hostages remains a contentious issue. Only 13 of the 28 bodies held in Gaza have been returned, sparking anger in Israel and accusations that Hamas is failing to uphold its commitments. Is this a sign of deeper mistrust, or a temporary setback in the peace process? Adding to the complexity, Hamas chief negotiator Khalil al-Hayya insisted in Cairo that his group remains committed to the ceasefire and is determined to implement it fully. He also highlighted the challenges Hamas faces in recovering the bodies of deceased hostages due to a lack of specialized equipment. Overnight, Israeli authorities confirmed the return of another hostage's body, identified as Tal Haimi, 41, who was killed during the October 7 attack. Yet, despite these small steps forward, tensions persist. Just Monday, 4 Palestinians were reportedly killed by Israeli fire east of Gaza City, with Israel claiming its troops targeted terrorists who crossed the ceasefire line. Are these isolated incidents, or signs of a deeper fragility in the truce? President Trump, in his characteristic style, has issued a stark warning to Hamas: "We made a deal with Hamas that they are going to be very good. They are going to behave. They are going to be nice. If they are not, we're going to go and we're going to eradicate them, if we have to." But this raises a broader question: can peace be enforced through threats, or does it require genuine dialogue and mutual trust? As Vance, Witkoff, and Kushner navigate this complex landscape, the world watches with bated breath. Will their efforts lead to a lasting peace, or will the cycle of violence continue? We want to hear from you. Do you believe the ceasefire can hold, or is the region destined for further conflict? Share your thoughts in the comments below.